And I'd be like, wait. Stop going so fast. See me, I'm a slow. Welcome back. How y'all doing? How you living? Everything's good? So today we gonna talk about a little bit about my experience in Japan. Right? So first things first. If you straight out of boot camp and you ever get stationed overseas for your first duty station, please get a passport. Please get a passport. It'll just make the transition so much easier. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm speaking from experience because I didn't have a passport. Mind you, when I joined, I've never been outside the country. So, of course, my first station had to be Japan. Yokosuka, Japan. That's why I was stationed, right? So I was traveling on orders. And it was just so many hoops I had to jump through because I didn't have a passport. So it's like at every stop I made, I basically kept my orders in my hand because there was like military orders. So please, first things first, get a passport. It'll just make it easy. Take my word for it. It'll make it way more smoother. You won't have to jump through a lot of hoops. You could just show your passport. It gets stamped and you on your way. Right? All right, boom. I get off the plane in Japan. First time ever out the country, like I previously just said. So I get off the plane. I look around. I look around, right? Everything is in Japanese. And you'll be like, Coco, of course everything's in Japanese. You're in Japan. But me thinking that I was flying to an international airport and not just like a regular airport, that it will have different type of languages. Now, I did come to realize that the languages, like the signs, they were switching from Japanese to English. But it wouldn't stay on the English part for a long time. It'll be like Japanese, English, Japanese. And I'd be like, wait. Stop going so fast. See me, I'm a slow reader. I'm that type of friend, or I'm that person that when you try to show them something on your phone because you think it's funny and you like, oh, you'll read this. And they be taking their time reading. You be like, dang, you still reading, not done? That's me. Because I'm a slow reader for real. You know, not too much on it, but I'm a slow reader. So I feel like it was kind of disrespectful to be in an international airport and they wouldn't stay on the English as long as they stayed on the Japanese, right? So that's another thing. Second thing, I was walking around lost, you know. Like I said, I'm a slow reader, so I was like standing, trying to catch the English of where to go. So I'm lost. I finally found my way, right? I'm asking the people, like, hey, I'm in the military, whatever. I'm trying to get to the Yokosuka base. They was like, oh, you got to go to the USO. And then they'll try to tell me what a USO is. But it was like that English really wasn't that good. So it was like, okay, you saying go this way, but you're not telling me like you go down this hallway, you make a right, then you make a left. It was none of that. It was like, oh, this way, USO. So I eventually found a USO. Mind you, out of this big airport, it's a small booth that says USO. Now, you would think it would have enough room where the USO could be a little bit bigger. But no, literally, it was like a small booth. So I finally get there, right? I tell her, oh, I'm trying to go to Yokosuka, Japan. Because there's different bases in Japan. So you have to tell them, like, which one you're going to so you get on the right bus. So I tell her, Yokosuka, Japan. So I had to sign my name. She was like, oh, you just missed the bus. I was like, what? I just missed the bus. No, like, is there another bus coming around? Now, there was another bus coming around, but the way she said it, she was like, oh, yeah, you just missed the bus. What are you telling me I missed the bus? But rest assured, there was another bus that was going to come. At this time, it was about maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. The next bus didn't come till 8:30. It was either 8:39, I believe. And I was like, so what am I supposed to do? Ultimately, I had to sit there and wait. It was either get a taxi, and at the time I didn't know where to go or how to go. I was having trouble finding a USO, so why would I try to leave there to try to get a taxi and I ended up having to pay for it? Plus I didn't have no yen, right? So I ended up waiting there. So I'm waiting and I'm waiting, and at this time I only had my phone. So I'm waiting, I'm looking, my phone about to die. So I tried to find a port. They only had one port, right? In that little section that I was in, they only had one port, and somebody was using it. I was like, bro, my phone about to die. I asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind if I plug my phone up for a little bit? It's about to die. He was like, oh, my phone just died. Let me stay on. I was like, all right. So my phone ended up dying. Bus finally came, right? The bus finally came. We get on the bus. It's about an hour and a half ride from the airport to the base. So I'm sitting there. I end up falling asleep. I'm asleep, whatever, And then we finally get to the base. We pull up to PSD. So that's where they check you in or whatever. When you first get there, that's where they check you in when you're going, if you get there at night. Because I arrived at night and I didn't know what ship I was on. Well, I knew what ship I was on, but I didn't know what pier my ship was on. Come to find out, my ship wasn't even there at the time. So, getting ahead of myself. Go to PSD. I show them my order, show them my paperwork. Boom. They was like, oh, yeah, your ship not here. What? What do you mean your ship? What do you mean my ship not here? So I was like, all right, cool. Where am I supposed to be staying? So they ended up putting me in TPU. But that's okay because I already had to go to TPU. Little did I know, to quarantine. So had to go there for 2 weeks to quarantine. Boom. Waiting my quarantine out. Luckily, I did not have a roommate while I was quarantined. So I was just in there making videos. I got all dressed up one day just to take pictures because I couldn't go nowhere. They brought your food to your room. They brought you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, was the food good? No. Thumbs down. But they brought you everything you needed because you couldn't go nowhere. So my 2 weeks finally ended up, it's over. Me thinking my ship back there was like, oh yeah, your ship's still not back. So I'm like, so am I staying here? It was like, oh, I don't know. I got to find out. We might put you in a barracks room or you might stay here. So I'm like, all right. So the man, it was a chief. He go find out. He was like, oh, you're going to stay here at TPU. We just going to put you on a different floor since you're out of quarantine now. I was like, all right, cool. Me thinking, I was like, oh, I'm out of quarantine. I get to explore a little bit. I'm walking around, go see Japan. No, I had to do this class that basically teach you some of the rules of Japan. Basically teach you how to act, what you can do and what you cannot do, right? I could not go off base without having a certificate. Now, I don't know if this is for everybody, but I was scared to try to go off base because what if I was trying to leave the gate and they was like, oh, do you have your certificate, whatever? But I was scared, so I didn't go off base. I just ended up roaming around base, which when you first get there, the base is kind of big when you first get there. But once you've been there for a little minute and you find out where everything is, the base really not all that big. All right, so I had to wait another 2 weeks before my ship came. All right, my ship get there. When my ship got there, they told me, it's like, hey, your ship is here. Put on your dress blues. We're going to take it to the ship. I was like, all right, cool. I put on my dress blues. And we go to the ship. When I get to the ship, I was looking at it in my head. I was like, dang, it's a big ship. LCC 19. I was like, this is a big ship. It's really not. Like I said, it seemed big when I first get there. But when I actually knew my way around the ship, Just like the base. When I knew my way around, it's not that big. Thanks for watching my video. If you did like it, please comment it, share it. You know, show your girl some love.